Hey guys, I'm Dimension Jumper. Today I'll be ranking every single 3D Zelda game from my least favourite to my favourite. Now for this list I'll be going over all 6 3D Zelda games that have been released since Ocarina of Time up until Breath of the Wild, and I'll be just putting the games into my personal order of where I see these games, in terms of how fun they are to play and in terms of how interesting they are in terms of stories and stuff like that. So yeah, so for number 6 is the Wind Waker HD. Now with this game, it's like, all of these games that are on this list are enjoyable, including the Wind Waker and this HD version. I think it's like, compared to the ones, I feel like it's the weakest in terms of the story somewhat. For me personally, because this is probably one of the shorter stories, and probably has like one of the fewer dungeons as well. And there are some elements that I like for instance, I do like some of the boss fights, like the Majoras boss fight, and the Hammerlock boss fight, and even the final boss fight with Ganondorf. I just feel like that it does take a while to get, I feel like the story to get into a while, and also you just going around the sea for a bit and collecting all the Triforce shards, trying to get the Master Sword to fully upgrade itself, that sort of thing. I just feel like that I feel like the story should have added a bit more stuff to it, and I feel like we should have had like a few more islands to explore and a few more inhabitants, because there's only like a few islands that you can move about in and just talk to people, or just the inhabitants of that specific island. A lot of the other islands are just barren. Like there's an island with some great fairies, there's some ones that just have a heart piece in it, and I kind of wish that some of the islands that you do visit did have a few more people in it. So yeah, for number 5 is Majora's Mask 3D and the original version. And why is the reason why it's this low on the list is that I feel like it's a bit too repetitive in terms of the gameplay, and I do enjoy the game from time to time. I just feel like it's like, even though it's got that Groundhog Day sort of style in terms of you have to repeat the same 3 days over and over again, kind of like how in Groundhog Day, Bill Murray's character relives the same day again. What I feel in both Majora's Mask and its 3D remake is that I feel like you do have to do a lot of things over and over again. For example, if you want to get to Lon Lon Ranch, you do have to beat the Got boss fight in the Snowy Peak Mountain or whatever that place is, and then you have to go and get the powder keg, and then go to the place where Lon Lon Ranch is, and you can only access that once you've beaten the Got boss fight. And yeah, I feel like a lot of the things you do have in the game and you have to do, it's like it gets a bit repetitive over time, and there might be like a heart piece that you might have forgotten, or a mask that you might need so you can get the final mask in the entire game. And I feel like even if it's like the final day and you've forgotten one of those things, you do have to go back to the final day or the first day, and just go and getting those little bits just so you can get to the final day and beat the final boss. So but there are some bits I do enjoy. Like I do like the masks in the game that you can collect. I quite like the transformation masks. I feel like those masks are quite interesting. Some of the characters that you can meet are quite interesting and quite cool, and also how they react to the moon getting closer. Like there's one bit in the game when there's the mayor and some of the carpenters, and they're saying, and there's like half of them saying like, oh, the moon isn't going to fall, but there's the other half of the room saying, oh, the moon will fall. And I do like that kind of dynamic of how people are reacting to the moon falling. So yeah, even though there's not my favourite 3D Zelda game and not my personal favourite, there are some nice elements for Majora's Mask. For number 5 is Ocarina of Time and its 3D remake. Now I feel like this is a lot better than the Majora's Mask 3D game. and a 3D remake, mainly because it's good. I think what Ocarina of Time and a 3D remake it does better than Majora's Mask and a 3D remake because I do like the part like halfway through the game when you can become Adult Link, and then you can have the ability to go back and forth through time. And I do like how in certain parts of the game, whatever you do or do like in a certain part of the game can affect like Hyrule as a whole. Because for one part of the game, if you want to access both the well and claim the Lens of Truth, you do have to learn the Song of Storms as Adult Link. Then you can go back in time to when the Windmill Man first hears it, and then you can have access to the well as Child Link. And it's little moments like that I really enjoy, and I feel like should be brought back into future Zelda games, like with Breath of the Wild 2. If there's like some sort of under cavern sort of thing, whatever happens in like if you're in Hyrule or in the cavern, if let's say I destroyed a hole like a bombable wall or something, or a hole or something in Hyrule Field, that affects part of the cavern, and you'll be able to access an area that you might not have been to before. So yeah, that's what, and I really do enjoy all of the bosses that this game uses, and I think that the boss fights that you fight make you use the items really well. So yeah, that's what I like about Ocarina of Time and a 3D remake. For number 3 is Breath of the Wild. Now, what I like about Breath of the Wild is that it's the very first Zelda game to have this big open world. I do enjoy a lot of the boss fights, even though I kind of wished there was more. Like, in terms of boss fights, there's only like a few of them. You've got the Blight bosses, you've got the Mordogas, you've got the Hinox/Dalnox, and you've got the Stone Taluses. I kind of wish there was more, like a few more variant boss fights that you could face. Like you could fight a giant Moldorm or something, and you could find those like scattered around the world a bit. And I do enjoy a lot of the other stuff we can do in this game. Like you can do the shrines, you can upgrade your armor, you can fight Clammy Ganon early, and I do enjoy a lot of the memories that you can see throughout the game. I kind of again wish there was like a bit more stuff you can do, like, you know, in terms of dungeon designs. And even though the dungeons are kind of important to the main story, I kind of wish there was like side dungeons. And even though there is the shrines, the quote unquote shrines, I kind of wish there's like dungeons you can go to that gave you like some rare loot that you might not be able to find in either the shrines, the Divine Beast, or anywhere around Hyrule. I kind of wish these side dungeons just give you, like, let's say 5-star fragments or 3 giant cores or something like that. I kind of wish that like those small elements would have been added in, but it's still an enjoyable game. I do enjoy a lot of the things, and I do enjoy the story, and I do enjoy how you can just literally go anywhere and do anything in your own order. And I do like how large the map is. I think the map is like one of the best overworld maps in the entire game, or in the entire Zelda series, just because you might go from, you know, the Great Plateau all the way to Hyrule Castle, Death Mountain, any of the mountain areas. And I do also like the climate areas, like let's say you're in one of the mountain areas and then it's freezing. That means you have to either have a meal that you made that makes you resist the cold, or have armor that makes you or again, like the meals, resistant to the cold. And you might have it upgraded to make you be unfreezable, so enemies that have ice attacks won't be able to freeze you. So yeah, I do enjoy this game. There are a lot of moments I do enjoy. I kind of wish it was like some extra bits, just not a lot, just a few more bits so you can do some like extra stuff. For number 2 is Twilight Princess. Now, what I like about Twilight Princess is that it's one of the darker Zelda games, kind of like how Majora's Mask is in terms of the story, and probably what Breath of the Wild 2 is going to be in terms of its story. And I do like how this game goes quite dark in terms of like some of the story elements, like you have to fight Zant, who's basically trying to take all over Hyrule and make the entire world be fallen into Twilight. And I do enjoy that aspect, and I do enjoy how Link and his companion Minda just trying to beat Zant and just doing it and trying to find like ways into defeating him, like the few shadows in the first half, and then trying to find the mirrors of Twilight in the second half, and then just doing a lot of things. And also, I do like a lot of the dungeons in this game. For instance, I do like the Temple of Time in this game, because the first time you go there, it's just to get the Master Sword. It's just this barren, sort of crumbled up ruin, and it's got like, you know, 2 guards that's protecting the Master Sword, and you've got some, like, you know, posts there, and you can collect and just give to the guy who traded his soul in for money or something. And then when you go there a second time to get the second shard of the Twilight, the Mirror of Twilight, you go back to when it was like fully rebuilt. And I do enjoy that elements like that, where you can just go back to old places and just see how they might have looked like in the past or in the future, and just other stuff. And I do like how you can use some of the items to get to new areas. For instance, with the spinner, even though it's not used that much in terms of outside the dungeon, you can use it to get to like pieces of hearts, or get some rupees or bugs to give to Agatha. And also with the Dominion Rod that you get from the Temple of Time, I like it how once you've beaten the boss, which is Armagoma in that temple, you can use the Dominion Rod to try and get to the city in the sky, and in order to reactivate it, because every time you go back into the present, the Dominion Rod will always lose power. So you do have to try and reactivate it by finding all these different landmark things, and then it'll be able to be reactivated. So yeah, that's what I quite like about Twilight Princess. And for number 1 is Skyward Sword. Now, I really like Skyward Sword. I feel like it's the best out of all the 3D Zelda games, mainly because I do enjoy a lot of the gameplay aspects from it. I really enjoyed the motion control part of it. Like, there's like in the first dungeon, in Skyview Temple, there's like some areas where you have to make these eyes dizzy, and you have to move your sword like in a big circle to make them confused, so that they will be able to make your way through to the next area. I also like the moments you have with Fi. So with like in the entire game, every time you and Fi are having an interaction, whether it's about fighting the Sacred Flames or whether it's about Zelda, I do enjoy those moments, because you're getting to know Fi a little bit more, and I do enjoy that at the very end of the game. Fi is saying goodbye to Link, and that you might never see her again, up until like the little Easter egg in Breath of the Wild, where Fi makes her appearance in like the secret memory, and also the end of Trial of the Sword, which I feel like is quite cool, because like I want her to appear in Breath of the Wild too, because I feel like she's one of the most underrated Zelda companions in the entire series. And I really like Fi's theme, like all the themes that's about Fi, whether it's following her to the Goddess Sword, her main theme, or when you're saying goodbye to her. I do enjoy those themes, and I just really enjoy it. I feel like Skyward Sword is like the best game, and like of all time, it's like probably my favorite, and I just really enjoy it. I enjoy like you going around Skyloft, you going around like the surface. I just really enjoy everything that is about this game, and also it sets up everything else in the Zelda timeline, like Ganondorf, the Triforce, the Blood of the Hero, and the Soul of the Goddess. There's the other way around, the Blood of the Goddess going through like the royal family and every princess that Zelda gets highest powers, and also the Soul of the Hero, which is every reincarnation of Link. I just really enjoy how this game sets up everything else in the Zelda timeline. So yeah, that's what I enjoy about Skyward Sword. So that's been my list of ranking every single 3D Zelda game from least favourite to favourite. I hope you enjoyed that video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.